So a scoreless draw in Ireland against Mexico, and I suppose given the fact that they're fourth in the world, that's not too bad, and given the fact that it also rests 3 defeats on the trot, I suppose that's not too bad either. Giles, you predicted a draw, but it was not an inspirational draw, really, was it?
No, it was non-event, really, Bill. It was real end-of-season stuff. A few young lads playing the Irish team. Mexicans neat in their control, without any real urgency about them. But as a spectacle, it wasn't...
well, George said it was a typical end-of-season performance in a sense. Now, if you were trying to make a value judgment on Mexico today in the context of the World Cup, which we'll be covering, what would you be saying about them?
I don't think they'll be a threat to anybody. Bill. I think they're a very ordinary team. They've got some useful players who are neat in their control, but I don't think they're powerful enough to do anything, make a real impact in the World Cup. Unless they've got players missing that we don't know about today. But I presume they haven't. But if that's the team that's going to play in the World Cup, I don't think
But you didn't feel that they were just going through the motions in a sense, you know?
Well, even if you can see with certain teams, even going through the motions, they've got some good players and they've got some powerful players. I didn't get that feeling about Mexico, and I think they'll just they won't be real contenders.
Okay, all right.
They won't frighten Brazil.
Yeah. All right, let's go through the Irish then, and tell me what you thought of Ireland in terms of the significance of this match, or the significance of certain performances in the light of the European Championship.
Well, I don't think the match had any significance at all. I think the only significance were players coming into it who might try and get into the team when we start the real matches. And Keane, again, I thought was very good. He had little or no support, and whatever he did on his own. Duff didn't really get much. He was playing out on the left wing, and I'm not so sure it's his best position.
You mentioned Brady in the context of Keane at one stage, I think. Was it Keane or Duff?
Duff,
yeah. But do either Duff or Keane have the capacity to change a game on their own? Have they the capacity to be great players, do you think?
Well, I've seen Duff play. I saw Duff play for Blackburn during the season, and he was playing up front when Sutton was injured, and it was against West Ham. He scored 2 and he made the other goal. And he definitely has the capacity, I think, in that position when he gets on the ball to change the game. I think the problem today was he was playing out in the left wing, and I'm not so sure he likes playing on that position. And certainly his positional sense, playing on the left wing, is not very good. He doesn't get him in good positions to receive the ball, which is a little bit of a worry, I must say. But I think when he's up front, he's a definite position to play, and he's at his best when he receives the ball in tight situations, and he can go past people like no other player I've seen in the Premiership in England, so he can win the match. I think Keane is a different type of player in that he's not such a good dribbler of the ball as Duff, but he's very good positional player, and he will score goals.
All right, Robbie Keane was talking to Ryle Nugent after the game. Let's watch the interview now.
Robbie Keane, man of the match, and he nearly had one to savour at the very end there.
Yeah, I was delighted to get man of the match, you know, but I nearly scored, but well. I should have scored the last game as well, but once I'm there, so that's the main thing.
Campos came out and made the angle very tight in the end, didn't he?
Yeah, he came out, to be fair, good keeper, well done to him. He came out, there was another fraction probably when he was in, you know, but to be fair, he came out and he did well, so.
From the outside looking in, you're settling in nicely to this international experience. How does it feel for yourself?
Yeah, it feels great, like, you know, I'm delighted with myself, and I'm delighted just to be a part of the team, and yeah, I'm settling in well, and all the lads are great, you know, so yeah, I'm delighted.
On today's performance, a draw, a fair result?
I think we could have scraped the win. Yeah, I think we should have won it. Second half we played well. The first half we had a few chances. Well, Dave Connolly nearly scored, but I thought we should have won it, to be honest.
Robbie, thanks very much.
No problem, thank you.
Right, I suppose Ireland could have scraped a win, and the best chance they had was Keane's chance. It came from a pass from Delap, and he did very well there, and so indeed did the keeper. I wonder, can we watch that now?
Yeah, it's a long through ball. It lost it down in a deep position. This is the first one. This is the Mexican chance, the best chance they had in the game in the second half, the early part of the second half, and Gibbon did really well to save it. But they cut us up in that position. That was the first chance, the real chance of the game. Clear chance from play.
Did you get any sense of worry at all that the Mexicans did get through the Irish defence occasionally in a slightly worrying way?
Yeah, the build-up was a little bit slow, but when they passed it well, they didn't get through very often. But I think, I suppose over 90 minutes they're going to do something, Bill. I don't think you're going to go.
You don't get to the World Cup otherwise.
Nothing. Yeah. But that was a good chance, and Gibbon did really well on that one.
Well, as I said earlier on, the emphasis here this afternoon has been on youth because of the celebrations involving the Under-16 European Championships. But let's have a look now at two of the young players in the Irish team, Keane and Connolly, involved in a move, but Compass did very well to save this. Made the save.
There was long ball forward. Again, it was a bit of a mix-up. Keane got in on the end of it. The keeper did well in the finish. Carsley got a little knock forward. Keane challenged the goalkeeper. It looked like it was running loose, and Connolly thought he was sticking in the back of the net. But luckily enough, the ball was in his sight, so he was able to get at it and got at it well. I thought the keeper did well for him today. He looked a short guy.
Yeah,
so he'd be in trouble. But every ball he came for, he was getting a punch.
A lot of courage, actually, for a small keeper, hadn't he?
Yeah, I thought he did quite well for him.
Okay. Let's look now at Keane's big chance from Delap. That came in the 82nd minute. Might have been his first goal for Ireland, but it didn't work out.
Yeah, it was a long clearance. I think Delap got a little header onto it. The Mexican defender made a mistake. And so you see it, he's trying to catch it with the outside of his right foot to bend it past the keeper on the far post. And if you do see it again, you'll see that he doesn't quite get it. He gets his foot out early and catches the inside of his foot, or not quite on the outside of his foot, to try and swerve it past the keeper.
But again, the keeper did well there, didn't he?
He did well. He made the angle very tight, but you can see him in this position. I think Keane does exactly the right thing. If he catches it right with the outside of his right foot, he gets a little bend on it. But you see, when he's just going to strike it, he doesn't catch it quite with the outside of his right foot. So he's flicked it. He's caught a little bit early to knock it past the post. It's coming back a little bit, but not quite what he wanted to do. But again, he made it on his own. Any chance he had today, Keane.
Yeah.
It wasn't from a build-up that you could say, well, somebody did well for him. It was things like that, getting on the end of things, and through his effort and that.
So from your perspective, you'd say he well deserved the title of man of the match, did he?
Well, I couldn't see anybody else, but I mean, it wasn't a good match really, and it was end of season stuff. I would say he was the outstanding player, certainly in the Irish team, and I'd be looking at the Irish team more than the Mexican team. But it wasn't full of great performances. We weren't exactly good on the day. Again, it was a makeshift team, and it was a reasonable draw against the Mexican team. But
let's look at one of their chances now, John. This is an occasion when Mexico were wide, in fact.
Yeah, this was a reasonable chance from them here. I think they gets it back across to the number 8, who was a good player, the captain, and it was a good cross. And this was a chance, all right. Got a free header on it, coming in, and it's just past the post. I think in that situation, Gibbon wouldn't have got that if it's flying on the inside of the post.
Yeah.
And
but you know, I wonder though, when you look at a team like Mexico, they played Norway, they were beaten, but that was a poor team. Apparently, they didn't have their first team on against against Norway. They come down here then, but the focus has got to be, from their perspective, the World Cup. And I mean, you're not going to go into a 50-50 tackle with any conviction if you think it's going to take you out of the World Cup. So what does a World Cup qualifying team get out of a game like this?
Well, they get a little bit of match fitness, Bill. It's better than training all the time. If you've got a match, despite the fact you're not going into 50-50 tackles and really going, you are chasing around, you're getting the feel of the ball, it's reasonably competitive. If you don't have any matches, then you've got a long build-up and you're training more than you would normally train. So I think in that sense, and there'll be also things happening in the match today that the manager can see that he wants to put right, little things here and there. So it does serve a purpose.
Okay. If you look back now on the 4 matches Ireland have played in the kind of build-up to the World Cup, in a sense, what are the pointers that we're going to take out of the Irish performances over the last few games and take them into the match against Croatia on the 5th of September? What have we learned about the Ireland team? I mean, what do you think Mick McCarthy will have learned at this stage?
I don't think he's learned an awful lot from the matches, because the team has had to change so much. I mean, if you look at that team today, again, that won't bear any resemblance to the team that will start in the European Champion qualifiers, as the last match didn't. But I would say that we should have had a team settled by now before these 4 matches. I don't think these are the real significant matches. I think finishing the World Cup qualifiers, we should have had a settled team. And in the last match, for example, we didn't have a full squad, but yet we had Bab and Irwin on the bench. Now I think Bab and Irwin are most likely to start in the next match.
So are you saying that one of the things that Mick McCarthy, no matter how narky he gets about this, will have taken out of these games is that Hart will not be in the centre of defence for the European Championship, that Bab will be back, and Breen presumably will be the two centre backs?
Well, I would, if I was having a bet now, I'd like to have a bet that Ian Hart won't play in the centre of defence in the first competitive match.
In fact, I gather we've got Mick McCarthy now talking to Ryle Nugent. Let's join them.
Mick, let's start by trying to focus on the positive. People like Phil Babb, Damien Duff, Robbie Keane, you must have been pleased with their performances today.
And why do you want to focus on some negative things afterwards, dear? Wouldn't surprise me. I've been pleased with the performance of everybody today. I thought it was a good performance by a team that has been said all week, wouldn't be a first choice squad, and yet they've all exceeded themselves. I think we should have won that game today.
Yeah, I was getting kind of Robbie Keane's chance at the very end. Really, it sort of summed it up just past the post. You had a couple of chances like that.
Yeah, the keeper did well actually. Campos ran at him, and just ran at him, and narrowed the angle very quickly. And sometimes I think we think he's a bit of a clown, his Campos, but he can play, and he was unlucky. He did everything. He just rolled by the post.
15 weeks to the game against Croatia here in the European Championships. Are you in a position now that you're happy that you have the style that you want to play, and that barring injuries you're pretty close to knowing who you want to play in that game?
Yes, yeah, without doubt. Yeah, I'm not going to elaborate on it and tell you now, but yes, I am, providing they're all fit. We've got so many injuries. If they all get back fit and they all get playing in the teams, then yeah, I would know I was going to pick.
Mick, thanks very much for joining us. Back to Bill.
Okie doke, that's it. A scoreless draw here at Lansdowne Road in the last game of the summer programme, Ireland's summer programme, which I suppose serve as preparatory games for the European Championships. For Mick McCarthy, the focus, as he rightly says, will be on the first game against Croatia in the European Championships in early September. Of course, so much top-class soccer before that. The World Cup begins on June the 10th, and we'll bring you the most comprehensive coverage from then to July the 12th. We'll 56 games live. That's a marvellous opportunity for all of us, I think. That should be a terrific World Cup. We'll see you then, and I hope we have the pleasure of your company.